Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Elijah here, man. And as you can tell from the title of the video, today we're going to be going through the different eras of boxing. So I'm not even going to be around the bush. Let's get straight to it. So in ancient Greece, boxing was a popular amateur sport. It was included in the first Olympic Games. One of the earliest civilizations to formalize boxing as a competitive event was ancient Greece. The Greeks called it paigmacha. Forgive me for my pronunciation. And this translates to fist fighting, and it became a popular event in the athletic culture. Ancient Greek boxing was very harsh and had few rules. There was no weight classifications, there were time limits, and fighters did not participate in rounds. Instead, the bout lasted until one opponent gave up or was unable to continue. In order to protect their knuckles, boxers wrapped their hands in leather straps known as hemates. Boxing was considered a way to train a warrior and promote the ideal Greek athlete and someone who was strong, disciplined, and courageous. Famous Asian boxers like Diogenes of Rhodes became legendary figures, not only for their victories, but for representing their spirit of competition that defined Greek culture. The sport, however, declined after the Roman Empire. 18th century, boxing was revived in London in the form of bare-knuckle prize fighting, in which contestants fought for money, made wages on the outcome. The first boxer to ever be recognized as a heavyweight champion was James Figg in 1974. In 1719 and in 1743, James Bolton formulated a set of rules, standardizing some practices and eliminating others, such as hitting opponents while they are down or seizing opponents by the hair. Broughton's rules governed boxing until 1838, when the original London prize ring rules, based on those of Broughton, were devised. And these rules controlled the sport until the end of the 19th century, when the Queensberry rules came into use. These rules were drafted in 1857 by a boxer named John Graham Chambers. The Queensberry rules were critically important because they transformed boxing from a brutal, often lawless fight into a legitimate sport with structure, safety, and strategy. The rules stated that no wrestling or hugging was to be allowed. Rounds were to be 3 minutes of duration. If either man falls, he must get up unaided within 10 seconds. And if a glove was to burst or come off, it must be replaced to the referee's satisfaction. Now, those are just some of the rules. I'm not going to go through every rule because I feel like I'll just bore you guys. Right, now that that's done, let's talk about the 1890s to 1930s. With gloves, timed rounds, and standardized weight classes, boxing entered a new age. The era saw a rise in scientific boxing, where footwork, strategy, and defense became more important. Fighters like Jack Johnson became the first African-American heavyweight champion and broke racial barriers in the 1900s. Jack Dempsey was considered a national hero at the time, and some people say he was even more popular than Babe Ruth. And he was the first boxer to really bring in huge money. Back in the day, fighters had to earn fame and acclaim. There was no such thing as pay-per-view during that time. Live gates were how boxers earned their money. And because Jack Dempsey was so good, everybody wanted to see him. And during the 1940s to 1960s, the sport grew internationally, with fighters from various countries gaining prominence. The invention of radio broadcasting further expanded boxers' reach, making champions household names. Often regarded as boxing's most competitive era, the Golden Age produced a remarkable depth across multiple weight divisions. Champions like Sugar Ray Robinson is widely considered the greatest pound-for-pound boxer of all time, with names like Joe Louis holding the heavyweight title for over 11 years, and Rocky Marciano being the only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated. He dominated the welterweight and middleweight ranks to retire undefeated. This era was marked by regular high-stake fights between elite-level boxers, and TV also helped increase popularity. Boxing became a major part of mainstream culture, Often regarded as boxing's most competitive era, the Golden Age produced a remarkable depth of talent across multiple divisions. Now, this era probably had the most legendary rivalries, and people consider this to be the Golden Age of boxing. Muhammad Ali is a quintessential figure in this era. His unmatched skill, charisma, and political activism transformed him from a boxer into a cultural icon. His rivalries with Joe Frazier, George Foreman, and Sonny Liston created some of the sport's most memorable moments. These included the Rumble in the Jungle and the Thriller in Manila. In lower weight classes, legends like Robert Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, and Marvin Hagler. And one thing about these four guys here is that they weren't pussies. They were actually willing to fight each other, unlike the boxers of today. Sugar Ray Leonard was the most charismatic and media-friendly of the group. Leonard would suffer his first professional loss when he went toe-to-toe with Duran. He was able to get it back in blood and win the rematch. The tall, long-limbed Thomas Hearns presented a stylistic challenge to nearly everybody he faced, thanks to his devastating knockout power in both hands. His 1981 bout with Sugar Ray Leonard was a technical masterpiece and one of the most thrilling in welterweight history. In 1984, Hearns delivered one of the most chilling knockouts in boxing history by demolishing Duran just 2 rounds. A year later, he would face Hagler in what many considered the greatest 3 rounds ever fought. Marvelous Marvin Hagler was the undisputed middleweight champion, defined by his unyielding grit, granite chin, and rare ability to fluidly switch between fighting stances. He is my favourite out of the 4. During the 1990s to 2000s, the spotlight would again return to the heavyweights. Mike Tyson quickly drew massive attention, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion ever. Evander Holyfield began his career in the cruiserweight division, where he unified the titles and established himself as a relentless, high-output fighter. In 1988, he moved up to heavyweight, a division many thought he was too small for, and began his quest to conquer the biggest names in the sport. Holyfield gained international acclaim in 1990 when he defeated Buster Douglas to become the undisputed heavyweight champion, just months after Douglas had shocked the world by knocking out Mike Tyson. While Holyfield embodied heart and grit, Lennox Lewis was a new breed of heavyweight, technically refined, powerful, and strategic. Born in London but raised in Canada, Lewis won a gold medal in the 1988 Olympics and turned professional shortly after. Lennox Lewis would avenge his loss to Nicole. He would knock out Andrew Golota and defeated David Tua, Shannon Briggs, and Michael Grant. Most importantly, Lennox Lewis fought Holyfield and settling a long-awaited debate over who was the true king of the heavyweight division. Now, let's move on to the modern era. Fighters like Floyd Mayweather, who retired undefeated, changed the business model of boxing with massive pay-per-view events and a defense-first fighting style. Manny Pacquiao, his long-term rival, became the only fighter to win titles in 8 weight divisions. More recently, the heavyweight division has seen a resurgence with fighters like Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, and Deontay Wilder, bringing drama and unpredictability back to the top weight classes. The rise of Canelo Alvarez as a dominant force from light middleweight to light heavyweight has also defined the era. Meanwhile, the sport has seen an influx in crossover events such as celebrity and influence in boxing, which has drawn massive criticism but has also brought more eyes to the sport. Most recently, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul had their fight, and on Everything I Love, I couldn't believe influencer boxing has gotten to this point. If you told me Jake Paul was going to fight Anthony Joshua 5 years ago, I would have laughed in your face. But look where we're at now. But I've got to give it to Jake as well, because he's got some cojones stepping in the ring with AJ. Another thing that we're going to talk about in this video is the future of boxing. So when we look at the heavyweight division, Moses Itoma is Britain's hottest commodity right now, and he's widely considered to be the new face of heavyweight boxing in the UK. Moses currently has a record of 13-0, 11 of his fights ending with a knockout, and in 2024, Ring Magazine even named him prospect of the year. People also think Abdullah Mason could be the new face of boxing. Abdullah right now is 21 years old and he currently has the WBO lightweight title. Abdullah right now has got an 85% knockout rate, and a lot of people were impressed by his composure after he got dropped by Johan Vasquez in 2024. But he still remained calm and secured the knockout just 1 round later. And the last boxing star that I'm going to talk about is Bam Rodriguez. He currently holds titles in the flyweight and super flyweight divisions. Currently has an undefeated record of 23-0 and holds the WBC, WBO, WBA and Ring Magazine super flyweight titles. But let me know who you guys think is going to be the new face of boxing. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, share and subscribe, yeah? And I'll catch you guys in the next one.